What's that? Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
AFC South. About to be the clash of the titans. Strike like a lightning bolt. You feel the ground pounding, that might be the coast. Quick like a jolt, like to hit when provoked. Don't you doubt that. That's a jaguar to a house cat. That's an outcast to a whole squadron. If you talking Houston, then we've got a problem. You'll probably get the horns if you mess with the cattle. Sit back in your saddle and get ready for the fan battle.
Hello. It is I, your host of the AFC South Fan Battle Podcast, brought to you by Fan Battle Sports. As with me today, I got my boy, Mr. Chris Jackson himself. What's up, brother?
Appreciate you, man. Hey, glad to be here. We're going to have some fun, apparently.
Right now it's just we're supposed to have some other people join. If they do. If they don't, they don't. If you're a Titans fan, ask to come on. We'll bring you on because they're all scared eating mayonnaise in the corner. So nobody wants to show up. The Jags, he's supposed to be here. I'm not sure. I think he's out eating bath salts. And Sam is at her weekly Jalen Ramsey meeting. So she will not be here today. So you got us today. So
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
What about who needs anybody, right? That's all you need. Us two.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. Like, what do you need the others for?
Right. Well, before we jump into over here, and that's draft talk, a little NFL news. It's been a while since we've been on here. The legendary running back, regardless of his outside life, I know everybody's going to say, "Oh, murder this, murder that." Who cares? Somebody's life was lost. O.J. Simpson lost a battle to cancer. Chris, you got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, O.J.'s a polarizing figure. He has been since 1990, 4 or 5. And I mean, if we're being completely honest, it's like, anybody who's a football fan, you know who O.J. Simpson is. Anybody who's not a football fan, you know who O.J. Simpson is. So, I mean, either way, it's just like, however you feel about him, I mean, it is what it is. But, at the end of the day, it's just like, the lost battle to cancer, so, I mean, for me personally, it's just like, this is going to sound a little bit crazy, but honestly, it's just like when celebrities pass, it's just like, okay, but it's just like rest in peace either way. But,
well, like at the end of the day, they're human beings, right?
Yeah.
So like when somebody loses their life, it's sad, but regardless of what happens, because you don't know what they're going through, cancer, you don't know what they're going through religiously, so it's sad regardless. Somebody lost their life, somebody lost a dad, somebody lost a friend. At the end of the day, that's what matters. So vibes to the family. Hope they get through this hard time. Still the greatest run in Broncos history. Like nobody had a better run in the Bronco, Simpson. So too soon?
Here, that's I listen. Never too soon for that.
And other news. Talk about a great run. Rasheed Rice finally turned himself in for. He got caught. Unlike OJ, he didn't make it. He turned himself in, looking at a couple of felonies, and last I heard, he's being sued for $1 million because of the damages and whatnot.
Yeah, he's being sued by 2 of the victims of the crash because it was a 6-car It was a 6-car total accident, and the people that were hit immediately, they're just automatically suing him. I'm pretty sure they either got wind of what he was doing or they saw the car he crashed and just knew it's just like, oh yeah, we're gonna be able to get something off of this guy. Honestly, it's another horror story. I mean, honestly, any rookies coming in, when they do the rookie symposium, they do all that. They just need to play clips of this whole Rashee Rice situation and then just be like, don't be this guy, because this literally just happened a few months ago.
Oh, well, look, like what they need to do is play a video. I've been saying this since day one. They need to play a video of Mike Tyson, the rise and fall of Mike Tyson.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you want your career ruined, then stay with people that don't have your best interest at heart.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's what's going to happen, because you're going to get all those millions and millions of dollars, and all they care about is them. What can they do now?
Yep.
They don't care about this man's career.
No, they don't.
So and like, look, this might sound rough, might sound bad, but look, if Rashee Rice hit me and I find out who it is, oh my neck.
My neck, my back, my neck and my back.
Yeah, like I can't walk. I'm blind. Like give me in the great words of Jerry Maguire, show me the money.
Exactly.
Like,
I'll be walking around like Marlon Wayans and the Wayans brothers. Help me.
Yeah.
Help me, please. Help
please,
me.
Please. Yeah, like, I'm sorry, but I'm not. Like, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. So that's just, I hate to see it.
They need to just go. They need to make sure that they're playing like all the videos of the cases of all these guys who had it and then lost it. And then also on the flip side, highlight the guys who did it right. Highlight the guys like the Jerry Rices, like the Larry Fitzgeralds, like those guys who just like literally had careers that spanned over a decade, and they weren't in the headlines for anything but their stats and like charitable things that they were doing for the community.
Absolutely. And I also think what the NFL should do is come up with a list of NFL approved money managers and say, boom, pick from this list, and that's what you have to be an NFL player. Somebody to use your manager, because obviously you coming out of college with no money, you need something, right? Like you got to do something to help these guys, because this is the first time where they got this much money. Yeah, you got the NIL deal, but that doesn't matter. That's apple to oranges for what they're receiving, millions and millions of dollars. So again, I think they got to do something to help these guys, because it's going to be rough for them if they don't.
Well, it's just like, it's not even to kind of like pivot a little bit, but guys like Deion Sanders, for example, what he did for his guys in Jackson State was he actually brought in a woman who was notorious for like preying on athletes, and she gave them the game, like just letting them know, like, hey, yo, like what, like this is what's going to happen to you. And you see it all the time. It's just like you see like these young stars, young players, they're getting hemmed up by these women who are like 30, 40, and they just like, oh yeah, well, I would never bag nothing like this. Yeah, you would never bag nothing like that if you didn't have, X amount of millions in your bank account either. Yeah.
Millions and millions of dollars turn you into Brad Pitt. Like, they don't care what you look like if you're a millionaire. So, well, moving on, one more before we go to the draft. The Jets released their uniforms. Have you seen them, Chris?
I have not.
I think they look like ass, but everybody else in the NFL community, they think they look great. I think they look terrible. I think they look plain, like they're old jerseys. This is like a dark color of green. But that's just.
Oh wait, no. I see them. Oh yeah, they're ass. They're definitely ass. Yeah, they're ass. Like it's like green and white is something that you could potentially turn into something great. And all they did was turn themselves into like Eagles North. Like
they didn't do nothing.
I mean, the black variant looks pretty dope. I'll say that the black variant looks dope, but the general uniforms, like their regular uniforms, it's yeah, 4-13 incoming.
Right. Well, that's what I was about to say. Like, and plus the Lions comes out, I think, tomorrow or later this week.
I think they said something about Wednesday or Thursday.
Okay. And then the Texans, of course, comes out April 23rd.
Okay.
Or 23rd or 24th. One of those two. But the good thing about the Lions and the Texans, they got something that the Jets don't. Winning makes everything look better. It doesn't matter if they are just running out there in bathrobes. Those bathrobes are going to sell because why? They're winning. The Jets, they're not going to win. They're not going to sell. Like, I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, I just don't see like they can hop out with all the uniform changes and everything else, but it's like Aaron Rodgers is a year older coming off of an Achilles injury. It's like him like he's like conspiracy Kirk Cousins. Like he is just absolutely just like
psychedelic Jimmy Garoppolo, huh?
Yeah, it's like that's what but that's what we're dealing with now. And then like I said, like the Jets at least have a decent enough run game where they can go ahead and do something. But I mean, because Breece Hall actually did have like a good year, especially coming off an ACL tear. But I mean, if you look at it, it's just like wide receiver wise, like who's really there outside of Garrett Wilson?
Right. They didn't help him. So yeah, I agree with you. I will say this talk about the jerseys. There's one team that announced they're going back to the throwbacks, and I'm kind of excited for. And it's a team that me and you are well know of, and that's the Jaguars. I think about time. Like me growing up, I thought the old school Jaguars jerseys was fire. Like,
yeah,
orders are great and all, but to me, I thought the Jaguars jerseys were better.
They've experimented so many times with different jerseys. And honestly, it's just like if you stick with that jersey as the formula, I don't see an issue. Like that jersey, it's just like I'm enough of a football fan to say it's just like those jerseys are tough. Yeah, like they wear those. It's just like that's like.
But again, even though they wear the jerseys, here comes 7 and 10, so it really doesn't matter what jerseys you wear.
Mm-hmm.
So you're still gonna lose.
Yeah,
your fans are still going to cry. So, but Chris, let's talk about why we are here. Draft is in 2 weeks.
Yes.
My favorite part of the NFL offseason because it's complete chaos organized. Mm-hmm. I love it. So let's jump to the team that's not here and it smells like mayo.
Okay.
Let's talk about the Titans. So here's what ESPN considers the Titans draft needs. Me and you are not Titans fans, so we really don't have a great depth on this. But tell me, do you agree with this list?
Offensive tackle, yes. Defensive end, yeah. Safety. So I mean, for me personally, I'm not sold on Amani Hooker. And I know that they put and I always forget his name. Oh, I think they put Molden back there at safety.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, I think it's just like you're doing things to kind of like patch a position rather than actually like
fix it.
And
right.
I mean, I know that I'm a Colts fan. But and then you have linebacker where it's just like I'm pretty sure like they've lost. Yeah, I know. It's just like they lost like for me, if I'm looking at this list, I don't see anything wrong with it, but I think the Titans are a team that is going to try to rely very heavily on their offense because the defense, I just don't see it. Like, I don't see the defense being any better than where they were. I mean, the secondary is better because, I mean, they went from like no corners to now they have Snead and Awuzie. But I mean, you have Awuzie who's a little bit older and you have Snead who so Snead is good. To me, Snead is good. I think he can be a fringe great corner. But the thing is also, how is he going to be able to operate without a hell of a pass rush coming from Chris Jones up front?
Exactly. I've been telling Titans fans that from day one, but
Yeah, well, the Mayo causes hearing loss, so
absolutely. And so with the 4 spot linebacker, you agree with that?
yeah, because I think linebacker has kind of been a rotation.
Right.
I think linebackers just kind of been like a tough spot. I don't know if they're going to change their defensive philosophy, because I think if you change defensive philosophy, then you may not, do too well. And I have and then mind you, we talked about this pre-production because somebody said don't like Simmons and Landry.
I was gonna let you tell you finish, but yeah, I was gonna bring that up too.
Yeah. So the thing is, I like Jeffrey Simmons, and I think that he can be effective. But I think one thing that doesn't make me believe that, like it's more so like I see it to believe it, where he will still be able to be super effective, is how he works with not having Danico Autry on the side. Because the thing is, Danico Autry is a great complement piece when it comes down to how he's able to really just like let Jeffrey Simmons just kind of go off. Like Danico Autry's a dog. I was mad when, we lost him because, him playing next to Buckner was just fantastic. But the thing is, now without Autry there, Simmons is basically just going to have to be working on his own. And Landry, is Landry going to play? Is he going to play 3 technique, or is he going to play linebacker?
Scheme, so you don't know what you got out of Landry.
Yeah. So the thing is now, and last year it's just like I don't think Landry was as effective at all.
And they said Arden Key, like that's supposed to be
Arden Key. Arden Key is Arden Key. Like there's no, absolutely not. No.
Well, like we were saying earlier in pre-production, yes, Jeffrey Simmons is a beast. But I love him on the Texans. Absolutely, the guy is top 3, top 3 defensive tackle, easy. But he's not Chris Jones. Quit comparing him to Chris Jones. Like Chris Jones is a man of himself. Like he is a legend. And also, the Chiefs' defensive line, the pass rush was way better. You had Carl Liffis, Charles Omenihu on the career year. Noddy, like they had Nick Bowden, like they had they're hitting from everywhere.
Yeah, Leo Chenal.
Right. And not to mention the quarterback blitzes, like they had a pass rush coming to you. That's why Snead was so great, because they didn't have time to react. They were top 5 in pass rush for a reason. So I'm just let me get off my soapbox for that one. But go ahead. What were you saying?
No, I think like the thing about the Titans going into this season going to be that everything's going to be different. Like there's going to be a change. So the thing is, depending on how the defense changes, that might change how people are able to play. Now, also, Snead was kind of able to work a little bit more freer when it came down to how they work in the defense, because with Steve Spagnuolo, everything originated in that front 7. And with Chris Jones being able to generate a heavy pass rush as he was, it gave guys like Snead, Trent McDuffie, it gave them the opportunity to just go and just like be able to cover a little bit freer, do what they're doing. Also, you may not get the Kansas City benefit of the doubt, because, it's just like they're able to get away with some things because, they got good old Patty Mack over there.
Yeah, Pat effect. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, all right. Well, this is a 7th-round draft mock from ESPN's own Matt Miller. So this is what he has the Titans selecting with their picks. Look, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like if this is the draft they get, I'm gonna be mad. Like, Joe Alt is a beast. Edrin Cooper is the guy I want the Texans to still at 42. Kalen King's a cornerback I want. Like, dude, I don't want them getting Michael Wiley. With him and Spears, it's a 1-2 punch. Like, dude, right there, if they get that, I don't think Trey Knox is going to be there at 252. I think he goes a little higher, so or lower, whatever you want to say it. But I don't. But again, if they get that, it's going to piss me off. Your thoughts on it?
Honestly, that draft, that would probably be like the most solid draft that they've had in a very long time.
Right?
Because I mean, just even getting just one offensive lineman could potentially help shore them up. Because if you can go and get one guy who can actually be dominant on one side, that means that now you can kind of work your offense around what you're able to do. So, I mean, this draft, to me, if this draft was to happen, hats off to him. You're going to get nothing but props from me.
Absolutely. I think that makes this team a little bit harder than they, So, and again, it's all about the scheme too. So, who knows? But yeah, dude, I looked at all the mock drafts from Matt Miller for the whole AFC South. I hate him right now, even though we had him on the Texans podcast last week. I hate him because every single mock draft they got for each AFC South team is nothing but beast, and I hate it. So the next one, Chris, you should know very well. Let's talk about the good old Colts. Again, this is the draft needs from ESPN. Number 1, you got corner, 2 safety, 3 edge rush, and 4 tight end. Do you agree or do you disagree?
I disagree.
Okay. Talk to me, then, brother.
If I'm being honest, for me, edge rusher is up there number 1.
Oh, I like it.
Edge rusher is number 1. I think you can make the case that cornerback is maybe like 2. I want to say wide receiver at 3.
Okay.
And then if anything, probably like cornerback at 4. I'm not. So the thing is, as far as safety and tight end, I'm not necessarily as worried about those positions as I am when it comes to getting the pass rush straight. Because I mean, we just
that the pass rush fixes a lot of that, right? Like if you have a pass rush that can hide a lot of flaws in the secondary and cornerback, right? Like it helps a safety and a cornerback with their production. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, and the biggest issue that I have is the fact that they were just like, oh, we had X amount of sacks last year. That's fantastic, but the problem was that there were a lot of games where people were able to extend plays. Like the thing is, we could talk about how many sacks we had in the season, but then you also have to talk about the fact that all it took was a game against the Falcons and a game against the Bengals to expose the defense, where all you had to do was throw screens, and then everything is out of whack. And for me, if you have a pass rusher or you have a good pass rusher that's able to make sure that they're getting to the quarterback, they disrupt things like that. And also having a good pass rush, having somebody out there or having a dominant pass rush will make it so that the secondary doesn't have to work as hard. And that's my issue with Gus Bradley's defense because, when you go back to those Legion of Boom days, they weren't really known for the pass rush, but they were definitely known for that secondary. So the thing is, the secondary made people hesitate because anybody that you throw out of that secondary is a dog. Like you're going to throw at Sherman's a dog. You throw at Brown is a dog. You throw at Earl Thomas is a dog. You throw at Cam Chancellor's a dog. So the thing is, the hesitance to be able to like actually go into to actually throw out there means that you're going to have to check for check downs and do all that. But that means that the front seven, if the front seven isn't that great, then it's still going to make up for because you're not just automatically going to take shots on that secondary. You're not. But the thing is right now, the secondary that we have currently, it's still a young secondary. We still need to get a full season out of Juju Brents. And I mean, having another veteran corner would absolutely help, but Ballard doesn't believe in signing veterans unless they're on our team already. And so now, getting a pass rusher, getting somebody at 15 that would potentially be somebody who's a game breaker or who could who can greatly increase that pass rush is going to make the secondary job that much easier. But we don't know. Cornerback, this last point, it's just like we need cornerback help. And I don't want to wait until like the 6th or 7th round to do it because all I want to hear about, oh yeah, well he did good. He did good. Like, no, you're saying he did good for being a 6th rounder. I don't want to hear that. It's like, no, absolutely not. And then wide receiver, this is a very wide receiver heavy draft. So I feel like if, let's just say we trade back into the 2nd round, I think there's still going to be a big game changing wide receiver that will still be there in the 2nd round just because of how deep this draft is at wide receiver. And this person said it best. He was just like, Jared Verse would be a good pick if he's at 15. Honestly, if Jared Verse is there at 15, I'll turn the card in my damn self because I think that would be a fantastic pickup by us.
Right. I mean, and you can also jump back and get a guy like Chop Robinson and then get a couple more draft pieces. But I like how you said nobody remembers the front 7 on that Seahawks. Well, a lot of people forget that front 7 was mean. Like they had a Brent Reed, they had a Cliff Averill, they had a KJ Wright. Like they had a lot of guys get to the quarterback. Bennett, they had a lot of guys that get to the quarterback to help those guys. So it wasn't. Yeah, you're right. All those guys were dogs. Earl Thomas, Shane Kempster, all of them were dogs, but they had help. Yeah, that's what a lot of people forget. You have to have that front 7 because if you don't have somebody to get after the ball, it's gonna be a long day for them.
Yeah, not to minimize because, like I said, I don't want to minimize the effect because, like I said, it was KJ Wright, Bruce Irvin, Cliff Averill, like those guys. Right. I guess it's just like for me, it's just like they just weren't able to have the same success outside of that, so that's why it's just like it was easily forgettable to an extent.
Right. No. I was just trying to help your point. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Well, here is what Matt Miller predicts, y'all. Again, if y'all get this, I'm walking out. Like I'm throwing tables. I'm getting mad because to me this is you get your Danico Archery back in Byron Murphy. And you get a good depth piece in Marshawn Nealon. Tyke Smith, I think that's a low-key, really good pickup. And then Washington. Like, bro, you get him with the 151st pick. I'm done. I just
you know what? So I want to be able to be down with this. I can't bring myself to it. Because the toughest part for me is the fact that we know exactly where the trouble spots are. And, I don't think you bring in a guy like Raekwon Smith you don't bring in somebody like Raekwon Smith for, I know they say for depth. I hate depth. I hate the term depth now, like for being a Colts fan under Ballard. But I hate the depth term. Like, the thing is, Raekwon Smith, for who he is, he's coming in to be physically imposing. And so, for me, getting somebody else on an interior D-line when the interior D-line isn't our issue. Our issue is the outer D-line. Our issue is the end position. Now, for me, I would much rather prefer going end in the first round because I want somebody who's going to push Kwity Paye. Kwity Paye is coming up on a contract year. Right. So this will be the year to determine whether or not he's going to be able to really just go ahead and turn around and do what he was drafted to do in the first round. So as of right now, for me, I would much rather just go end. I think we talked about it on the Horseshoe Mob podcast. I said I would like for us, if we end up doing this, if Jared Verse is there at 15, go Verse. And then in the second round, I would like for us to go and get Max Melton from Rutgers.
Ooh, really?
Yes.
Because he'll be there in the third?
So I don't think he'll be there in the third because I feel like he has the intangibles for a team to get him in the second.
Okay.
Because, I mean, the thing is, he's 6'2", rangy corner. And the thing is now it's just like, I think unless you're a 5'10" corner that can run a 4.3 40, a lot of times these teams aren't going to really necessarily be looking for you. I think you're seeing the shift to those taller corners being more in demand because now, if for some reason you can't keep up when it comes to speed, you can at least go and just have somebody who has the length to be able to
Wingspan, right.
semi keep up with them and be able to knock the ball out of people's hands.
Right. Right. I
So
agree. Yeah. That's not bad. I mean, I like it. I mean, I think Byron Murphy next to Buckner, bro. I would
yeah.
hate it. I mean, that
Oh yeah.
deadly. So, but I mean, if you don't like it, that's fine with me. I'll go ahead.
Like I said,
Hey,
I wouldn't hate it, but I just know it's just like that edge rusher. We need that. Like we need that.
yeah, I feel you. All right. Well, we were waiting for a Jags commentator to jump on, but I guess they got too busy with the basalt. So we'll just jump there without them. And it's funny, me and you kind of talked about this. Like, to me and you, we both feel the same way. Like, their draft needs feels like it's everything, right?
Yeah.
Like, you say any position for the Jags, you're like, yeah, they need that. Oh, wait, no, they need that.
Yeah.
So, right now,
It's-
ESPN got some cornerback, receiver, offensive, and defensive tackle. Chris, what do you think?
I mean, I feel like they need this shit every year. Like, like it really feels like they need all this shit every year. Like you're talking about cornerback, as if they haven't had cornerbacks. Now, mind you, I like Tyson Campbell, but after Tyson Campbell, I don't know who they have. And then we have like wide receiver. They have Christian Kirk. They just picked up Gabe Davis. Then after that, I don't know who they have there either. Like offensive tackle, I don't know who's on the offensive line. Like I think they have some guys who are on the offense. Like the Jags seem like a team who are constantly switching out pieces every year. And like the weirdest part about it is the fact that the Jags are constantly rotating players, and yet they rarely ever have cap space.
Never.
But it's like it's really strange because you can name a couple guys like they don't need quarterback because they got Trevor. They don't need running back because they got Trevor Etienne. They don't need tight end because they got what's his face? I always forget his name. Ingram.
Yeah.
But then like O line is always an issue. D line is always an issue except for Josh Allen. Like linebacker is decent. I think they still have Olakun.
Yep. Yeah.
Secondary is always an issue. Like this team is weird. Like they're a weird ass team. Like I can't disagree with any of that list because I feel like they need that every single year.
Right. Well, and it's like I get the concept. Like they're Trayvon Walker. I get that. That's the guy you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
That's the guy. Okay, cool. That's your guy. And if he's a top 8 pick, then trade back to the top 8 pick. Don't select him at 1.
Yeah.
Like don't reach for a guy that's your guy. Like, and I say that when the Texans did that all year last year, all the whole draft last year. But I'm just saying, you can't be reaching for guys that's your guy. Because just because he's number 1 on your board doesn't mean he's going to be number 1 on everybody else's board. But I agree with you. You throw a dart anywhere on that board, and you can hit a need. Like this team is filled with needs.
Yes.
Besides Josh Allen and Trevor Lawrence, I know you mentioned Etienne and Ingram, but to me, I think Josh Allen and Trevor Lawrence are the 2 guys that are untouchable, and that's just because of the Trevor Lawrence's position. Quarterback is hard, You don't want to disrupt it if you don't have to.
Yeah.
And Josh Allen is probably the best player on that team. Like the dude is borderline elite. So you have to keep right with him. So, but everybody else, yeah, bro, like you have to. And we were talking about this in pre-production. That was the worst thing for the Jaguars to do last year, just because you won the AFC South. You went to the divisional round. Doesn't mean you get sit on your hands and not do nothing.
Exactly.
Not improve. And This right here is what is happening. You go to the last game of the season and get knocked out of playoffs by the Mayo Brigade. Like, that's what happens because you sit on your hands and don't improve. Injuries happen. People gambling happens. People with steroids happen. So you always got to be ready for plan B.
Exactly.
And I don't think the Jaguars did that at all last year. And that's why the Texans are number one in the division. And I'm okay with it. So, well, here is what Matt Miller predicts the Titans again and again. Fucking Matt Miller. Quentin Mitchell. If Quentin Mitchell goes to the Jaguars, that's going to be Matt. And I want Javon Baker on the Texans and everybody else. And Austin Booker, same. The dude is he's just a monster. I just don't see anybody drafting kickers in the NFL anymore. But if there's a team to do it,
it'll be the Jags.
It's the Jaguars. So
it'll be the Jags. I mean, honestly, the Jags, the Jags are a cluster F. Like they really are just they're chaos. Right. They are the embodiment of chaos.
Right. Absolutely. I love that statement. That's perfect. That summarizes the Jaguars. But again, I think if they go with this, they help themselves within a couple of years. I don't think they are in the fight for the division. My opinion, I think it's the Colts and the Texans quite a while.
Yeah.
Of course, in my opinion, I think it's the Texans no matter what. But I think the Colts are for sure second place. But this doesn't hurt them at all. What do you think about this draft by Matt Miller?
Honestly, I don't see anything wrong with it. Like so the thing is, it with the Jags, it's always going to be addressing exactly like what's wrong with the actual team itself. I mean, helping the secondary, that'll be amazing. Getting somebody, if Mason Smith ends up being solid for them at D tackle, then that shores up that D line a little bit more, where you're going to give Josh Allen a little bit more freedom to be able to, I'm going to say, just do Josh Allen things.
Right.
Javon Baker could develop into a great wide receiver, and then Austin Booker, I think, will be very.
I low-key think Javon Baker is going to be the next Andre Johnson. That
really?
Dude yes, he has all the skill sets, the physicality of Andre Johnson. If he went anywhere other than UCF, I think he's a first-round draft pick.
Okay,
hands down.
Now the one thing that all these picks have going for them is the fact that this is the Jags, and they'll find a way to screw this up.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They always do. Like you said, they're probably the only team in the NFL besides the Patriots that would draft a kicker. So,
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Well, last but not least, let's move to the AFC South champions.
Oh.
Yeah, I love it. This is ESPN's draft needs for the Texans. They got defensive tackle, cornerback, linebacker, and safety. Chris, before I give my thoughts, what do you think?
Yeah. The biggest thing is that, to me personally, I think the fact that O-line isn't on there at all is kind of like putting y'all at a little bit of a disadvantage, because you want to continue to protect CJ Stroud.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And as elusive as he is out the pocket, you guys had a lot of O-line rotation last season.
Right.
So, I mean, the biggest thing is that you have to be able to, make sure that in the midst of protecting your quarterback, that you're also making sure that you're shoring up those positions. So, I mean, I could very easily see the Texans going heavy defense in this draft, but also I think you are kind of putting CJ Stroud at a disadvantage by not at least going O-line in one facet. Like, at least saying, like, for me, I I think I would maybe put O-line in there, maybe over safety.
Okay.
I like
I
Petrie.
mean, that's not bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Petrie. I think linebacker absolutely is need. Cornerback, I think if Stingley can have a healthy season and be consistent, then I think anybody who's after him, because I think after him, who do you have?
Jeff Okuda.
Okay, cornerback is that too.
Yeah.
And then D tackle, D tackle is absolute need. So I mean, I think I would maybe switch out O-line at 4 instead of safety.
Okay. Well, this is the reason why I don't think I think O-line maybe be top 5. This is why I don't see top 4. Like we had our whole front offensive line out for the season, or out of games for at one point of time. Like none of our starters were all on the field at the same time. So many energies, and then also the zone blocking scheme is so great that it helps. It helps masking a lot of flaws on the offensive line. So I think we do add that depth pieces because we did lose a couple of depth pieces, but I think we do in the 4th or 6th round. I don't think we do it in the first 3 rounds. I think the talent is so rich of these positions that we need. Like we do need a defensive tackle. We do need a cornerback. We do need a linebacker. I think you do go safety over offensive line just because, Jaden Petrie was a dog, but he fell off last year.
Yeah.
So you don't know if he's going to be better or what. And Jimmy Ward can't stay on the field. So you got to have somebody to even those two out. So I think you go safety. But my only thing on this list is I don't think defensive tackle is number 1. I think it's cornerback.
Okay.
Because you, like you said, after Stingley's a dog, I think he's going to be one of the most. I think he's going to be top 5 before the season's over, or before his career's over. But after that, you got Jeff Okuda and C.J. Henderson. There's reasons why they're not on their rookie contracts anymore. There's reasons why these guys are free agents. Like
first round picks too.
Right. And I get the thinking of Nick Caserio and D'Amico Ryans. I get it. I love it. It's low risk, high reward. If these guys pan out, it's perfect. They're geniuses. I get it. But what if they don't work out? Then you're kind of screwed and you're hurting Derek Stingley.
Mm-hmm.
So I would, number 1, I would go cornerback. Especially, I know we don't have a first round draft pick, but man, the first round corners are so great. Like you got Cooper DeJean, you got Quentin Mitchell, Arnold. Give me some Kool-Aid. Give me some grape Kool-Aid. McKinstry, like, bro, like it's so great. If those one of those guys fall to you, I think you go after it. But either way, and this is my thinking why defensive tackle is not as high as corner. Because like you say, we got the Nico Autry, who is he gets to the quarterback. Mm-hmm. And you got him next to Will Anderson and Daniel Hunter. Like, bro, that's a cheat code. And then everybody's like, well, he's not good at run stopping. You're right. He's not good at run stopping. That's why you got the Jaguars defensive tackle, Folowski. I can't say his last name, but he was solid on the Jags for defenses for run stopping. D'Amico is very depth rotation for a reason, and I think that's perfect. I don't think you need to jump up above cornerback to get a defensive tackle. That's my thoughts, but I've been wrong before, so who knows? And are you there, or are you trying to cut off? Okay.
Little guy came through.
No worries. And this is what Matt Miller has the Texans taking. And as you can tell, he fixed what the draft needs, and he actually kind of jumped what you were thinking. He took a center at third pick. That's my only head scratching pick, but who knows?
I mean, so the thing is, I think Tyler Nubin is probably going to be like one of the gems of the draft
Mm-hmm.
because I think it's just like he has all those intangibles. He already looks like he's ready to go. So he's somebody who could potentially be a day one starter. And so, I mean, I think for teams that are looking for safety help or teams that are looking for secondary, having somebody like that who can come in from day one, I think that's going to be a big thing. I know that they have a couple mocks where they had us taking Nubin in the second round. And so, but I think like Braden Fisk, I think is probably going to be, I think Braden Fisk, well, actually, no, because that's a trade down from the first.
Yep.
So actually Fisk and Nubin, like that one, I think that could possibly work. However, I do see that Nubin could probably switch the two because I could see Nubin going before Fisk. I think Fisk is going to be somebody who is underrated, who might be like a late second, early third round pick.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I see him at, like where he's at, like borderline first, borderline second. Like the dude. This is what's hurting guys like Braden Fisk and Johnny Newton from Illinois. Has got that good defense, and not just them, but Tyler Nubin. The need for quarterbacks is going to hurt guys like that. The need for receivers and in such a rich receiver draft and offensive tackles. Like I think that's going to push guys like Braden Fisk, Tyler Nubin, Johnny Newton. I think that pushes them back because of stuff like that. Like an Arnold, a McKinstry, a lot of corners that are supposed to be top first round picks, and because of their medical or their combines kind of took a hit, I think they fall to the second round because of that reason right there.
Yeah.
So I think that's why those guys will be there. But I agree with you. If we get Fisk and Nubin, I mean, I like Fisk. I'd rather take Newton. The dude's he's a beast.
Yeah.
If you look at what D'Amico Ryans describes as defensive tackle, you'll see a picture of Johnny Newton. So that's why I want Newton. But I mean, look when what was the quarterback for Florida State? Jordan Travis. When he went down, when he went down, that defense drove the Florida State that far, and he was the main reason. So you just got dude's going to be something special. I wouldn't mind him there. And I also wouldn't mind Cade Stover. I think he goes higher than 127. I think he's
I think Cade Stover might be a guy that goes much sooner than that.
Yeah. But and Malik Washington at 123, I'd love that too. But look, man, when you have Noah Brown, John Mechie, and Robert Woods all fighting for the wide receiver 4 spot, like that's a problem you would love to have. like that's fine with me. If they're fighting for the 4th pick, that's fine. Like I don't really care. Like depth, yes, okay. But other receiver, I'm not concerned about it, especially this year. Like the Texans are in a good spot.
Yeah.
Because the best position is on a rookie quarterback or rookie contract. And that's CJ Stroud. Like it's win now mode. So you do whatever you can to win now. Because look, dude, I know Titans fans think CJ Stroud is nobody. He's just another quarterback that's going to be mid. I don't think so. I think by the time his rookie contract comes up, he's going to break all the records when it comes to contracts. I think we're going to have to pay this man.
Oh yeah.
So
yes. I'm completely fine with that because if he's taking up $70 million a year,
right? Exactly.
I'm completely okay with that. Take all the money, CJ.
That's what I'm saying. Like people like you, like the Colts fans and all that, they would love that. I wouldn't, because that's going to hurt our chances of getting pieces to win. So now that you can go get pieces to win, this is the time to do it. Like, win now. A lot of analysts say that we're fighting for the Chiefs and Ravens spot. I agree. This is the time to do it.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully we can make a chance. So there's Chris. You got anything you need to add before we leave, brother?
No. Welcome back, Defo. Resigned today.
Yeah.
2-year extension for $46 million. That shores him up. That actually, I believe that extension is going into next year, I believe. So that'll be following this season. So, I mean, Chris Ballard has done a fantastic job making sure that he's locking up all the difference makers that we have now. So, like I said, it's just like, I know the Colts fans were pissed off everywhere that we saw all these free agents go and everything. But I mean, honestly, it's just like we didn't lose anybody who was just an impact player last year. So, I mean, hats off to him because, being able to do all that was just fantastic. And then also locking up DeForest Buckner before his contract comes up and locking up Zaire Franklin before his contract comes up next year is also huge too. So, yeah, hats off to Chris Ballard.
All that to come in second place, right?
You would hope. You would hope. Listen. There's a lot of different moving parts. So the thing for me is that you could have all these people come through, and you could sign free agents, and that's all fantastic. You're going to either end up being a fantastic team that goes over 14 wins, or you're going to end up being like the 2011 Eagles, where you guys look fantastic on paper,
right?
And then you're just out there just looking absolutely foolish.
Right. Any given Sunday, football is a toss-up. But hey, look, like I've been saying in the last month or so on the Texan Fan Battle podcast, this is the most excited I've ever been as a Texan fan. Forget 2011, forget 2019, forget Deshaun Watson, forget Arian Foster, forget JJ Watt. Like, this is the most excited I got JJ Watt right there on my wall. Like, I'm a diehard JJ Watt fan. I've never been this excited as a Texans fan. I'm excited. This is probably the most excited you have ever seen me. I hope we win the Super Bowl. So
hey, let's
get to the AFC Championship. So
I was about to say, it's just like, let's not talk Super Bowl. Y'all got to get past divisional round first.
My opinion, like I think that talk is stupid. Everyone's like, oh, you've never seen the AFC Championship game. I don't want to go just to see it.
Exactly.
Like, if I go, I want to win. I don't think that's an accomplishment. Ooh, you got third place. Congratulations. Like, dumb. That's a stupid argument. That's a stupid zinger. Oh, we never made the AFC champion. Dumb, stupid. Like, I don't understand it. That's just like people say, well, Colts hang the banner. Like, who cares? It's stupid. If you play to win it all. Go to Super Bowl. I don't care about the AFC Championship game. I care about winning the Super Bowl. The only one that matters, and that's the Lombardi Trophy, not the Lamar Hunt Trophy. So, all you Titan fans could suck it. Well, Chris, in the wise words of my boy Chris, this is the worst part of the show because it's the end. Tell the folks what you got cooking. That way we can support you and so forth, so on.
Yeah. Catch me, Josh Sr., Austin Cook, Harish Nukala tomorrow. Horseshoe Mob Podcast. We will be live 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central. We're actually going to be doing our own mock drafts. So this way we'll be going over exactly what to expect, what we expect. We kind of covered the draft a little bit last week, but this week we're going to basically just do it fully in depth. And and then for the actual draft, we'll actually be doing a live draft special. So definitely stay tuned for that because that is going to be all types of fun and all types of great things. So yeah.
All right, you heard it. Check him out everywhere. And what about social media? Where are you going to find you on social media?
at CJ Colts fan on Twitter. We don't call it X over here. We're not weirdos.
Yeah.
And find me on there. And pretty much just find me on Twitter.
Look, the only person that get away with it calling X is RIP. DMX is the only person that can call it X. Like, right? You know,
exactly.
He's the only one that makes X is relevant.
Exactly.
It died with him. So, Elon, you need to change back to Twitter or just get off of it. You can find me at A1 Day One Texans. You also find me on Wednesday nights, the Texans Fan Battle Podcast with my boy Crenshaw, Bo Diggity, and Keno the Messenger. So make sure you check us out 8 p.m. Central. We just like Chris, we'll be talking mock drafts and draft. I mean, it is the season upon us. So why not? Until then, guys, have a great week, and we will talk to you after the draft, the outcome. Have a good night.
Yep. And remember, Sam loves Jalen Ramsey.
Sit back in your saddle and get ready for the fan battle.